So you decide you really like playing Medic. You've watched all the tutorials, you've got some quality hours under your belt as the Healy boy, and you want to take your relationship a step further. Today I want to talk about some extra unique Medic tips that, as far as my research goes, few people, if any, have mentioned before over their various Medic videos. And fair warning, some of what I'm about to say contradicts certain proper Medic gaming dogmas that you may have been fed. Without further ado, let's discuss some extra cool life hacks for Medic. Number 1. Popping players. The moment I say popping, you immediately think of Medic activating his Kritz or Uber charge. But in this case, I'm not. You see, other classes can pop too, most notably Soldier and his various banners, Pyro with his flog. When these classes pop, they have the potential to make a game-changing play for your team. Soldier's banners help all teammates around him, and Pyro's flog has devastating potential to melt through the entire enemy team in a short amount of time. What we're talking about here is healing priority. Theory Y did an excellent video about healing priority for Medic, which you should definitely check out. But one thing I think that needs to be added is that these popping events, at least for me, always take automatic top priority for heals. Like I mentioned before, if a soldier has a banner deployed, he's helping your entire team. He needs to stay alive. I will switch my Medi beam to him in a heartbeat, regardless of who else is around. Likewise, if your Pyro is about to flog out on the enemy team, he needs some love too. Though you probably don't want to follow him into the fray unless you actually have an Uber. Those flog adventures can turn into a one-way trip very quickly. But at a bare minimum, when your Pyro starts that taunt, you should at least make sure he is topped off for health and has full overheal, because he's going to need it where he's going. Tip number 2. Pocketing snipers is sometimes actually the right move. If the enemy team has a god tier sniper or two that are completely hindering your progress in the map, you can be the force multiplier and empower your own sniper to keep the objective rolling. Your team may be wounded all around you, but the most important thing in the moment is for your sniper to eliminate his competition. So don't feel bad if your beam stays on him as long as it takes to get that done, so you can progress. Tip number 3. Teleporter sense. We all know that Medic is near the top of the teleporter priority list. Thanks, Uncle Dane. But occasionally, you may not want to take the teleporter if someone else is waiting. Aside from the possibility of there being danger on the other side waiting to frag you, sometimes it's just nice to stretch your legs and hitch a ride with your friendly scout, thanks to movement speed matching. Not only does this help you build a little more Uber charge during the trek, but it also helps you survey what's happening between spawn and the battlefield, and any shenanigans that you might encounter. And bonus points if you have the really fun advantage of using Quick Fix on a sympathetic Demoknight or soldier. Tip number 4. Fighting Pyros. If you suddenly find an enemy Pyro right next to you, chances are they're going to focus you down, run you down. Assuming there are no teammates around to eliminate the threat, our natural inclination as medics is to run away and hope we survive. But I'm telling you that 99% of the time, that's not going to happen. This is because even though Medic is technically faster than Pyro at 320 hammer units per second instead of 300, the amount of distance that you could potentially create between you and the chasing Pyro, which is only 20 hammer units every second, is not going to be enough to escape the flamethrower's reach before you're guaranteed to die from afterburn. And that's assuming you're both running in a straight line, of course. I'm not going to bother doing the math, but the point is, if you find yourself face to face with a competent Pyro and you try running away, you will die. This is not to mention if the Pyro has a back burner. Turning around to escape just seals your fate even faster. So it sounds counterintuitive, I know, but often your best chance at ending the threat in a 1v1 scenario, statistically, is just to pull out your melee weapon and hope for a crit. If you have a Blutsauger, you can actually generally get away with shooting the Pyro and backpedaling as long as you hit your shots. Note, this does not apply if you have a Vax bubble handy, or either stock or quick fix Uber to be able to pop and run, or somewhere where the environment is designed to actually help you survive. In those cases, yes, absolutely turn tail and get the hell out of Dodge. But just overall, statistically speaking, versus a 100% chance of death or 99% chance of death, go with the 99 by pulling out that melee and swinging away. Tip number 5, KRUBER. Crits can be hard sometimes because it leaves you and your healing target completely vulnerable, especially coming right out of blue spawn when you're on offense. So what are you to do if you want to get your crits down range without you or your target biting the dust instantly? The answer is KRUBER.
MACGRUBER, making life-saving inventions out of household materials.
KRUBER is when one medic crits a target and the other medic uber charges that same target at the same time. The idea is to make a sort of power play RTD character to shred as much of the enemy team as possible. In this play, the ubering medic should be right behind the target class, with the crits medic hiding behind both of them, since they're invulnerable. It's not entirely foolproof, but dang is it amazing to do sometimes. If Kritzkrieg is a glass cannon, a KRUBER is an actual frickin' cannon. And speaking of coming out of spawn, number 6, opening game moves. Specifically, medic pops. You are not obligated to just blast your Uber instantly when you charge out the gate on payload or attack defend maps. In chess, for example, you don't send the queen out immediately into battle. Just wait a little bit and let the pawns do their opening moves. Most likely the enemy team has popped their Uber or crits instantly, and by you waiting safely in spawn for that to end, you're metaphorically second scoping their entire team. Number 7. Use your crossbow when coming back to the front lines, even if your teammates don't need it. If you're working your way back to the front lines from a fresh respawn, don't be afraid to lob crossbow bolts towards your team, even if they don't need it. Obviously, if someone is near you that you can latch your medibeam onto to help build Uber, then yes, do that, 100%. Get that Uber meter building. But if no one is around, start flinging bolts down range in the direction of your team. Not only is this a nice way to just practice your aim, but in the off chance one of your teammates takes damage in between the time you shoot the bolt and it arrives, you've already got healing supplies on the way. Or, even better, you may accidentally hit a cloaked spy. The only downside of doing this is the wasted ammo. But as medic, you should rarely, if ever, run out of crossbow ammo. If you do, you are an absolute psychopath and should go to crossbow timeout. And lastly, tip number 8, crits a Demoknight at least once during your career. Seriously. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to end well, but that one time it does, it will be frickin' epic.
Oh, bloody epic!
Anyways, those are my lesser known tips for medic. Hope you guys all appreciate and keep those heals running. See ya.